Well, it is a clash of titans anytime Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo match up. A meeting of by far the best two players in the world, and it isn't close. Despite a fake pity MVP award thrown in the mix and some scoring eruptions by a few key players as of late, at the end of the day, Giannis and Jokic should have finished first and second in the voting for the last 5 and soon to be 6 league MVP awards. They also each won championships in the last 3 seasons with absolute subpar supporting casts, harkening back to the real days of the NBA, before entitled, petulant superstars started begging for more help. And speaking of help, in the never-ending quest to spin narratives and bestow elevated levels of credit to some players while belittling and demeaning others, we have seen in recent years rampant underrating as opposed to overrating of several key supporting players on various title runs. And in the most recent matchup between Jokic and Giannis, Jamal Murray laid a real stinker. Oh, sure, he was hurt, but even before sitting out the entire second half, Murray played 18 minutes in the first, scoring just 3 points, had 2 rebounds, and no assists on 1 of 5 shooting from the field, and registered a team-low -18 for the game.
It's a complete crap.
And it reminds us just how little help Jokic has actually had on what is a historical run that he is embarking on. Now, it goes without saying, Murray has been good, damn good, arguably elite even in the 3 postseason runs he's actually played in during his now 8-year NBA career. Particularly last season, where he averaged 26 points per game, 7 assists, and nearly 6 rebounds in 20 games, while the Nuggets easily won the NBA championship. But many mention Murray now as if he was a perennial all-star snub and a player deserving of all NBA level distinction. But it is possible to give Murray credit for some great playoff runs without going overboard and lying about the level of help Nikola Jokic has surrounding him. Jamal Murray, in 8 years now, has never made a single All-Star team, nor gotten remotely close to an All-NBA team selection. And there is really only one reason for this: he hasn't deserved it. Yes, injuries play a factor, but in 8 seasons now, Murray is averaging just 17 points, 4.5 assists, and 4 rebounds per game. In this supercharged era of offensive production, highlighted by a minimalistic to non-existent approach to defense, that is looking more like a team's third option. His best season ever was last year, where he still missed 17 games in the regular season, mind you, but averaged 20 points per game, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. Simply, in today's era of offensive inflation, that is not a surefire all-star line. James Harden led the NBA in assists last year and didn't make the All-Star team. Trae Young averaged 26 points and 10 assists and couldn't get a spot. We need to stop the undue elevation of Jamal Murray in talking about him like he constitutes elite-level support, for the obvious endgame of discrediting Nikola Jokic for what he is attempting to accomplish. While many would point to Hakeem Olajuwon's back-to-back title runs in 1994 and 1995 as arguably the best sustained multi-year title run, in terms of level of competition and supporting cast, many forget Clyde Drexler was acquired in advance of the trade deadline in 1995. Drexler is not only a top 75 all-time NBA player, but he was also named to the top 50 list when it was released in 1996, and he was still an elite-level player when the Rockets acquired him in the 95 season, as he made an all-star team for 7 straight years leading into the 94-95 season and made 2 more the following 2 years. There is actually only one player ever who has won multiple consecutive titles without a single top 75 player at his disposal, and that, of course, was the criminally underrated Kobe Bryant, who went to 3 consecutive finals while playing 11 50-win teams of his 12 opponents during the run and winning back-to-back with only Pau Gasol, the lone All-Star. But in recent years, there has been an absurd revisionist narrative percolating around the social media cesspools.
It's garbage!
Which paints Pau Gasol as the best big man in the game at the time, a hilarious take, as Gasol, at the time the Lakers acquired him, at a comparable age and stage of his career, was substantially beneath the levels of contemporary players such as Chris Bosh and Kevin Love. However, in a desperate push to try to elevate the media-anointed king, the rampant obliteration of Bosh and Love's legacy, along with the systemic overrating of Gasol, has been underway for many years now. After all, how could the pitiful LeBron jock sniffers possibly spin control the fact Kobe was winning consecutive titles with a second option beneath the level of LeBron's third options that he choked multiple titles away with? Spin, spin, spin. And the same is now happening with Nikola Jokic, as his legacy approaches levels that could surpass others of this era. The media spinsters have already preemptively begun damage control. It started last season when they cheated him out of a third MVP, but they couldn't give it to the next most deserving player in Giannis Antetokounmpo because that would have been his third as well. And that's when the lie of Joel Embiid was crafted. Now the elaborate fairy tale of Jamal Murray, elite, perennial all-NBA caliber second option, is under construction. Meanwhile, this guy hasn't sniffed a single All-Star selection in 8 years because, quite frankly, he isn't good enough. Nikola Jokic is embarking on a quest to become the first player ever to win back-to-back titles without a single other All-Star. Like, not a player that missed an All-Star appearance one year on a technicality and made it every other year surrounding a specific season. Only one other player on this entire roster has ever made a single All-Star appearance in their entire careers. And that was DeAndre Jordan, who is currently playing just 11 minutes per game for the Nuggets and averaging only 4 points. And it was only one single All-Star appearance that came 7 years ago. If Jokic pulls this title off, along with the 2 and potentially 3 MVPs he is about to have, coupled with the preposterous level of advanced stats that get the fake news media drooling, it is time to start talking about Nikola Jokic's real place amid all of the other players of this era. But that is a conversation likely many of you are not ready for.